So, are you delegating like a boss, or are you in your own way and becoming a bottleneck to your growth?
Welcome to the Next Level Influence Show. I'm Melanie Benson. I am host of Amplify Your Success Podcast.
And I'm Samantha Riley, host of the Thought Leaders Business Lab podcast. And this is our weekly show for experts and business leaders who are influencing people's decisions to make a greater impact and shatter their revenue goals in the process. So, let me ask you a question. Do you think that you hand things off? Or do you think that no one else can do things as well as you? Or do you spend time on tasks that you know you shouldn't be doing because you think it's faster if you do it yourself? Now, if that's you, you might finish the sprint, but you'll never make it to the finish line of the marathon. And the marathon is what business is all about.
That's so true. All right. Well, I'm excited for Delegate Like a Boss, our theme for today. I have been putting together teams and hiring for close to 30 years. I know, Sam, you've been working with teams for a really long time. We thought we'd share a little bit behind the scenes. How do we keep growing and amplifying the reach of our businesses? It's really about fine tuning the team because,
Mm-hmm.
Sam, we're not going to do it all, right?
We can't. There is no way that you can grow your business to be a seven figure, eight figure business, even a high six figure business on your own.
No way.
My favorite quote that I say to my clients nearly every day is, if you can climb the mountain on your own, it's not a very big mountain. If we're going to be
Ooh,
climbing Everest, we need the support team to help us. So that's the way that you need to start thinking about your team and your business.
I love that so much. So, yeah, I want to talk about something. This comes up a lot with my clients. And I think sometimes people, they get, it's like that, it's such a horrible analogy, but it's the idea that like when you put a frog in a boiling pot of water, it'll jump right out. But if you slowly turn the water up, the heat up on the water, it slowly cooks, right? I think a lot of people do not delegate well or don't delegate enough because they're just slowly turning up the heat on their success and
Mm-hmm.
they've just adjusted themselves to doing it all.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the ways you think someone might recognize they are not delegating enough in their business right now?
Oh, there's so many. So, number one, and I see this so often, it's all around tech. And it's, if you're spending, days or weeks or at least all day trying to do something that's related to getting a landing page up or a funnel built or something on your website, then that is a definite, you should not be doing that. I once um, this was years ago, knew someone that had to install an SSL certificate on their website. Now, we all need to have SSL certificates on our website so that they're secure. So I know that at the time I didn't have a web team, but I knew that I just had to jump onto Upwork, put up that I needed someone to install my SSL certificate. It cost me less than $20 and it was done within 10 minutes. Conversely, this person decided that no, they didn't want to spend the $20 and they would like to research it and figure it out for themselves. And 2 weeks later, all they'd done is broken their website. They still didn't have an SSL certificate and reached out just going, help. That's the biggest red flag right there. But there could be more covert ways. Like, I don't know, do you jump into Canva 10 times a day? Canva is a fantastic tool, don't get me wrong, but I jumped into Canva to do something quickly a couple of weeks ago, couldn't remember how to use it because I just get my designers to do everything. I don't want to be in doing those tasks that someone else could do. So I think that the best way to look into your business is go, am I the only person that could do this? So,
Mm.
am I the only person that could write this training, create this workbook, get on phones and do joint ventures with people, be a guest expert in people's podcasts? Those things can't outsource. All of those other things you can.
I had a little saying that I used to teach team building a lot. And so I had a saying that I came up with: if somebody can do it better, faster, or cheaper than you should be delegating it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for me and my clients, if I don't have the time to move the revenue needle forward, I am holding on to stuff that I should not be holding on to. So I believe that, as remember, I just went through this with a client. He was my challenge to him was to get an online calendar going because he needed to start freeing up time to launch his next bigger, bolder program. And he was so tripped up in all of the admin that it wasn't getting done. And I'm like, well, delegate it. And so I think sometimes we hold on to things because we don't want to take the time to find someone else to do them for them, which we'll talk about that in a minute. But I think another thing that happens sometimes people aren't delegating enough is they've just gotten used to doing it themselves.
Yes.
And they have this fear that if I delegate it, someone won't do it good enough. They won't get it done right. It'll take too long. What is the remedy for that? Because that's, if you're going to delegate like a boss, you got to get stuff off your plate that someone else can do. What's our mantra now? Better, faster, or cheaper than you, right? If you're climbing your own mountain, your mountain's not big enough. You're going to have to delegate more. What's one of the things that you think they should do?
Well, I think that you've just touched on it there, that not everyone is going to do it the same as you. In fact, I don't think that there will be anyone that does it the same as you. But where the limiting belief on this one comes is that people think that no one can do it as good as you. And what I've personally discovered in my business, and I'd love to hear your take on this too, Melanie, is that there are plenty of people that I've hired that are better than me. There are people that are better at me than tech. There are people, even when I was a dance teacher, there was other dance teachers that were better than me in different styles. So my assistant that I've got now, she is better than me at systems. She could run rings around me, and I'm a system queen. So let go of the limiting belief that people can't do it like you, because this is the thing that's going to blow your mind. You don't want someone to do it like you. You actually want someone that does it different to you, because that will help you grow your business.
I love that. Well, I will tell you something I waited far too long to do, and it cost me a lot in the delegation, and that was recognizing the value of systems and procedures. I know I will fully admit that I just expected people to figure it out. If that's what they said if that's what they were good at, like they would figure it out. And I realized much too late in the game that I was handicapping my team and putting on unrealistic expectations. And I know a lot of people do this, Sam. And so what is a great way to get those systems and procedures in place if someone's thinking, Melanie, you just nailed me. That's why I'm not delegating enough. I don't have the systems and procedures in place. And my team is constantly, not doing it the way I need them to do it to feel good about delegating more.
Totally. So this is another belief. As the business owner, you're not the one that needs to create the systems. That will mean that you're the bottleneck if you're creating the systems.
Hold on, Sam, stop for a second. Did you just say we could delegate creating the systems and procedures?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's good.
Yep, absolutely. As the business owner, you are not creating the systems. Your assistant is creating the systems. So if it's a brand new project that you are teaching them, this is how it's going to work. It's me, we, you. So how that works is I will do it first and show it to you, the assistant. This is how we put a blog post up on our website. Now let's do it together. So I will get them to do it as I'm watching. And then the next time they will do it themselves. So I will do it first. We will do it together. Then you will do it while I'm watching. Step 4, they create the procedure. And and you don't have to do it. It's done.
Love it. I love it. That's super easy. I love the me, you, we, you. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we might need a diagram for that, but I love it. We'll put it in the show notes in case you're like, wait, what did they say? That was really good.
Totally. So then from there, what's great is then not only are you not creating the system, but it is also helping to solidify in their mind what they're doing, because for them to be able to know exactly how to do something, and be able to get that on paper or video or screen share or audio or however they're creating their system, they need to be really clear in their mind. So it's also a really great teaching tool to solidify what that system is. So it's the best way to create systems.
Yeah, I agree. So I want to talk about another concern that has come up with a lot of my clients over the years, and I've certainly faced this one as well. I think sometimes people hold back from delegating more because they don't really know how to find and hire people they can bring onto their team. And
Mm-hmm.
so maybe they're worried about finding quality people. Maybe they're really suck at like the hiring and the onboarding and the training. But I'll tell you the worst one, and I've had several clients do this over the years, is they do what I call like they get married on the first date, and they hire the first person that they talk to
Uh-huh.
that knows
Uh-huh.
how to say the right things. And they're so not the right person for them to
Mm-hmm.
work with on
Mm-hmm.
their team. And so let's just face it that there's a lot of people that don't want to do that. They don't want to hire. They don't want to figure it out. They don't want to run a team. That's just not who they are. It's not their superpower. They don't want to learn it. It's just going to slow them down. What are some other options that people have from your experience to get the support they need to grow without having to go build, train, create systems, and do the whole thing that we're talking about here?
And this is so good. And I think before I mention that is to understand the time it does take to hire a great person.
Mm-hmm.
Because just going out and hiring the first person, I can tell you what normally happens when someone does this is they normally hire someone that's like them, because they resonate with that person so well. And that's not the right person to hire. If you're
Yep.
a high I person and you're very outgoing and you're really chatty and you blah blah blah, then having a PA that's like that is probably not the best person. And probably someone that's more a C type personality, that's more into systems and procedures and details, is a better person to manage you and your business, because your position's already taken. So I think it's really important to understand that it is, there is a while to go through the hiring process, that there is so much to understand in also hiring for different people. So your content writers, you hire them in a different way to your designers, to a different way to your web tech, your support, because they're all different type of people and do different jobs. So the way that you hire them is different. So I love that you've brought this up, because it is such a big topic and there's so much to look at. But there are places around that you can tap into teams that you don't have to hire, onboard, train. There are places around that have these people already trained, so that you're able to just hit a button and have someone completing tasks for you within the next hour. And I would suggest, if you're ready to upgrade your team and you're in a place in your business where you're super busy and you don't have time to stop and put all these things in place, then that is probably the best way to do that. I've got a team that we call the genies. And the reason that we call them the genies is because they grant wishes to my clients all day, every day. They just take their tech headaches away and their design headaches away. And if that's something that interests you, then you can, we'll put the links below, but head to samanthariley.global/collective and have a look about how a team of genies can help you straight away if you're too busy to do that hiring and onboarding process and that training process.
Can I just say, I'm always so jealous when you talk about your genies. I'm like, oh, she's the best genies. I love her genies.
I love my genies.
You should love your genies. They're really good. I mean, I have a great team, but you have amazing genies.
Well, I'll tell you a funny little story. Is I hired a new genie last week and we were chatting away and I'm telling him about how the business works. He's like, do you mean if I work for you, I get called a genie? He's like, I need that job. He actually did get the job too. Like, it was so exciting. He's like, yeah, hey, I'm a genie.
That's great. We want people to love their work, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, so great. So any last thoughts on delegating like a boss? Like, what's the big shift for somebody who's really ready to take things to that next level?
Look, I think that it's It's the habit of delegating. So I'm not going to even talk about who or procedures here. It's the mindset shift. So what I would suggest you do is get into the habit of delegating every single morning before you start your day, even if it's only one task. So every morning before you do your emails, before you get into your day, just take 5 minutes to go, okay, what are the projects I'm working on today? What needs to be done? And then circle or highlight or however you do it, what needs to be delegated today? What can I get off my plate before I even start my day? Because then it's on someone else's plate. You're not even thinking about it. So that's my biggest tip. Get into the habit of delegating every single morning before you start your day.
Mm, love that.
I
Okay,
would
so
love.
I'm going to wrap up with a quote from Tim
Okay.
Ferriss.
Okay.
And I think this was in the 4 Hour Work Week. And it always stood out for me because a lot of people are like, I can do that. Like, why would I delegate like that? I love doing that.
Uh-huh.
And so this is a paradigm shift. Your job, if you want to grow, is to delegate even the things you're good at because you have bigger fish to fry. You
Uh-huh.
have a bigger thing you're meant to pull up, right? I'm paraphrasing his quote. And that always stuck with me because if we hold on to all the things that we do enjoy doing, we will not have the space to do the things that only we can do to take our impact and our income and our influence to another level. So
I
I'll
love
leave you with that little
that.
gem, Sam.
Oh, so many gems, Melanie. So many. What do you? I keep forgetting what you call them. Write
Writer
down.
downers.
Writer downers. I need to commit that to memory. So many
Yep.
writer downers today.
Agree.
Awesome. So, if you've been loving what we've been talking about today, if you've got some value from the tips that we've shared, then please make sure that you follow both myself and Melanie Benson on whatever platform you're watching this on. We plan to do these next level influence shows weekly, and we don't want you to miss out. And while you're at it, tag a friend who you think might benefit from our topic today.
I can't wait for next week's show, Sam.
Looking forward to it. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks, Melanie. Ciao.